11.3. Multiplying radicals. I don't have a whole lot of examples to do. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing.
What's writing?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. Yeah, same amount. Okay. That means that you're all going to get this. All right. Step 1. Write the radicand as the product of its prime factors. Again, we're talking about a factor tree. Okay, so write the radicand as the product. Remember what product is? Dealing with multiplication. Whoops, let me pause this.
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's just preview, y'all.
Oh.
Shh. Okay. So, write the radicand as product of its prime factors, blah, 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 factor tree. All right, step 2. Simplify the root of each perfect power. That says perfect. And I'll explain that to you later. And then you're going to simplify the resulting expression. Let's open up our books. I'm having trouble today. Examples. Page 444. What?
Is this going to be easy?
The heck yeah, it's going to be easy. No, it's 5. Again, I taught 7th grade. I can teach you. Theirs a little different. Theirs is a little different.
How much different?
It's a little different. But you guys have it. All right. Y'all ready? Everyone have their books open? Because y'all learn better from examples anyway. Let's start with number 1. Square root of 5 times square root of 3. First of all, Franz, is 5 prime?
Yes.
Valeria, is 3 prime? Okay, remember step 1 said do the factor tree of each of the radicands, basically? We can't do that when the numbers are prime, can we? So, what is 5 times 3? So the answer is square root of 15. Don't you wish that was all you had to do today?
Yes.
Well, unfortunately. Now, you may have to make sure that your answer is simplified. You can do that like we did last week by just checking and doing the factor tree. And you will get 3 times 5. Well, what's my root? Anyone? 2, because there's no root here, so we assume it's 2. There's no pairs here, is there? No, there's no pairs. So it is simplified already. So this is your answer.
It would be simplified when you simplify it from that.
Well, basically what you're going to do is you're going to simplify it before we even multiply. This, I'm just showing you, but let me show you. Number 3. Hold on, Franz. I want to do this one, and then I'm going to start letting y'all do things. Square root of 8 times square root of 3. Okay. 7th grade, they can easily just do 8 times 3 and then do a factor tree and figure it out. Y'all are not going to have easy problems like that. So at this stage of the game, what you're going to do is do the factor tree for each. Now 3 is prime. So you can't do a factor tree of 3, but 8 is not. So you're going to do a factor tree of 8. What 2 numbers, Valeria, give me 8? That's right, 4 times 2. 2 is prime, so you have 2 times 2. All right, so now I'm going to draw an arrow. We factored out the square root of 8. I'm going to write down, just like I did last week, my prime factors. 2 times 2 times 2. And then I'm going to add to it that prime number, 3. By the way, if you did not turn in last week's homework, you better do it right now or it's going to be kind of late. Okay, that means everyone's turned it in. All right, so before I move on, do y'all see that? This number is prime, so we're just going to add that to the end there of our prime factors. Do y'all see that? This number is not prime, so I did the factor tree, and I've written out all my prime factors. Do y'all see that? Well, you got it? Ariel, you awake back there? Okay, good. Miranda, you good? All right, so now, what is my root, Valeria? What is it? That's right. Okay, so see, there's no root in each of these check mark things. So we assume it's 2. So my root is 2. Now, Valeria, what does that mean I do? Group. By groups of, yeah. Yes, Miranda. No, you won't have that. Good question, though. Okay, so if my root is 2, I'm grouping by 2. These are my leftovers. So, Valeria, where does my group go? Outside. Very good. And you only choose one. Where do my leftovers go? Inside. And we are multiplying still. So the group goes there. The leftovers go there. So then my answer is what, Valeria? What is it? Okay, so what's my total answer? 2 times what? The square root of 6. Wake up, Valeria. There's your answer. So that is what you're doing primarily today. But we've got a lot of examples. Okay, so if it's prime, you're just going to include it with your list of prime factors. If it's not prime, you're doing the factor tree. So it's very similar to what you did last week, but you're just kind of combining the two. You're multiplying. Any questions? Y'all got it? All right. Five. Square root of 12 times square root of 5. Miranda, why don't you do this one? Talk me through it. 5 is prime. And they're good. Now what do I do? 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so we're going to include the 5 as well. That prime factor. Good job. That's right. The root is 2. Excuse me. Okay.
So then you put the 5 or the 3 times 5 inside the box and the 2 on the outside.
And what do you get?
2 and 15.
2 times the square root of 15. That's right. So your pair goes on the outside. Your leftovers go on the inside. Any questions? Y'all good? Let's do a little bit more challenging one. 9. Sophia, square root of 28. Valeria, do you have this written down this way? Okay, good. Square root of 28 times square root of 35. Hey, Valeria, where's my Tupperware? A little cube of Tupperware. My salsa. You didn't make me any new salsa? You're not going to share with your favorite teacher? Man, y'all should taste the salsa, by the way. Okay, I got distracted on food. All right, so Sophia, what do I do? Factor tree, because are either one of these prime? No way. Now, do you see here, 7th grade, their numbers are very tiny. Y'all are going to start having bigger numbers. Sorry, Drew. Okay. So we're going to do the factor tree for both of these numbers, 28 and 35. All right, Sophia, talk me through it. Good job. Now what do we do? So 2, and you write them for both of them in order from least to greatest for both factor trees. So like I have 2 and 2, I'm going to put 5 over here, and then I have 7 and 7. Y'all see that? So you're doing the factor tree for both of them. You want to put them in order from least to greatest. It'll help with organization is what it does. Now, Sophia, what do I do? Make sure you include both of them together. Wait. What's my root? So how many what am I looking for? Groups of? So what are my groups of 2? 2 and 7. Very good. 5 is my leftover. Okay, so what goes on the outside? And inside? So what's 2 times 7? Times square root of. And there you go. So notice that the groups we put on the outside. And remember, we're multiplying. And then my leftover, I put on the inside. So sit back after you have that written down. Take it all in. Make sure you've got it all written down and you thoroughly understand before I move on, because I'm going to take it up a notch. So I need to make sure you all understand this. If you don't, please let me know. We've got plenty of time. We're moving kind of fast today, so if I need to slow down, you let me know. You good? Everyone good? All right. Let's look at number 13. Okay, now this one's a little different. It is the square root of 3 times the square root of 2 minus 1. Now, don't let this freak you out. I told y'all how I have that short-term, long-term memory issue and everything. I kid you not. Every time a year goes by and I haven't seen this, I'll look at this or I'll do like check on iExcel and I can feel my blood pressure going up like, wait. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, it slips my mind every time. So if you are that way, you're in good hands. You're in good company. Okay. What does this look like to y'all? Yeah, Valeria's over there doing the arrow things. It is the distributive property. Because here you have some stuff here inside the parentheses and one thing on the outside. So it is absolutely the distributive property. Drawing those arrows. Okay, now, all we're doing is multiplying. That's it. You're going to apply the same rules from up here as you would here. In this case, boys and girls, is 3 prime? Is 2 considered prime?
Yes.
So I'm going to put a little P underneath there. So do we have to factor those 2 out? No, we don't. So just like we did on number 1, what is the square root of 3 times the square root of 2? Ariel? Square root of 6. And even if we tried to factor this out, we'd just get 2 and 3 again. This only works with prime numbers. Now, boys and girls, what is the square root of 3 times negative 1? Ariel, I'll ask you. Very good. Well, or you say minus the square root of 3. I know that's what you meant, right? Yeah. Now, if we can simplify this, I haven't taught y'all adding and subtracting or anything like that yet, so you don't need to worry about that. Like this, if you can simplify it, meaning if you can do any factor tree type stuff in either one of these, then you would go ahead and do that. But you can't. So this is the answer. Again, if you can factor something out of 6, like do a factor tree, but you would only get 2 and 3, right? So these 2 cannot be factored out anymore. That's your answer. So I'm going to write here, simplify if possible. So when I say that, because like 7th grade, they would probably just multiply whether it's prime or not, and then get an answer and then need to do the factor tree. If you guys do the factor trees first, then you wouldn't have to worry about it. But either way, check to see if you can simplify this, and we can't, and you can't simplify that. For example. Let's do 15. Are there any questions first before we move on? Okay. Square root of 7 times square root of 21 plus square root of 2. Franz.
Distributive property.
Very good. We're going to do the distributive property.
7 is prime, 2 is prime.
I'll put a little P there and a little P there. So whenever you have 2 prime numbers, all you have to do is go ahead and multiply it. You don't even have to worry about simplifying it or factor trees. The only time you have to worry about that is when you have one that is not. See what I'm saying there? where it is? I mean, in this case, okay, for example, that's a good question. Like this prime number is going to be multiplied with this one. Well, now we're going to do factor tree because this is not prime. But this one, when we do it, we're not going to have to do any factor tree because they're both prime. See what I'm saying? All right, so let's do this one first. Franz.
7, 21, 47.
Oh, but we don't have to do that. Let's go ahead and do the factor tree of 21.
3 and 7.
3 times 7, and they're both prime. So remember, when we're multiplying, we're going to write down the factors for this one and this one. Do y'all see that? That's a lot easier than doing all that multiplying. That's what I'm saying. Like Franz, he did 721, and then you're going to have to factor that bad boy out. Where if you start now by factoring it out and then combining them, then you're good to go. Does everyone see where I got this other 7? Blair, do you see it? Okay, so we're just concentrating on these two. Miranda, do you see it? Okay, so Franz, what's my root?
7.
What's my root?
Oh, never mind. 2, 2.
There you go. There's nothing there, so it's 2. So what am I circling?
We're grouping up as 7.
Very good. We're grouping the 7, and my 3 is my leftover. So for the square root of 7 times square root of 21, Sophia, wake up. What is the answer? Franz.
What's the answer?
What goes to the outside and what goes to the
7
inside?
outside, 3 inside.
Okay. That is the answer for square root of 7 times square root of 21. Does everyone see that? All you people fall asleep. I don't know what happened. I think this is because 3-day weekend, because 7th grade, half of them fall asleep too. All right. So, Franz, do I need to do any factoring here?
No.
So what is the square root of 7 times the square root of positive 2?
Square root of 14.
Square root of 14.
And that's the answer.
And that's the answer. So if the two numbers, we're doing distributive, if the two numbers are prime, just go ahead and multiply them. You're good to go. You won't have to do any simplifying. Normally, just make sure. If they're not, go ahead and do the factor tree of the one that is not, and then just attach that prime factor there on the edge. Does anyone have any questions? All right, I got 2 more. Look at 17. Good job, Franz. All right, we're still simplifying, blah, 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 assume that all variables, blah, 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 blah. Did I do variables? Yes, I did. 17. Oh, look at that. I have a 3 for a root. All right, who would like to do 17? Chat, thank you for volunteering. Are either of these prime? No. What's my root?
3.
All right. Talk me through it.
So you have 40 in factory, and 10 and 4 go into it, and then 2 and 5 go into 10, and they're both prime. And then 2 and 2 go into 4. And they're
All right.
And then you have 54 and 9 and 6. 9 is 3 times 3, and 6 is 2 times 3.
All right. Because we're not having to do that distributive property, so we're just doing regular old multiplication, but we want to factor them out first. So let's now write out all my prime factors. I have 2, and I'd cross out so you don't accidentally write too many or the wrong ones. All right, and chat. My root is 3, so I'm looking for groups of.
3.
Very good. What do I have?
3 2s and 3 3s. Then your 2 and 5 are 2. And then you have 2 times 3 on the outside. And then 2 times 5 on the inside. And then you do that, and it's 6 times the square root of 10. What's the 3? That's the square cube. No, cube. What is it?
Cube root.
Root, okay.
All right, so you have to have your 3 there, and you are correct. Boys and girls, some of y'all last week were forgetting to put that little bitty 3 in there. That's wrong if you do that. So please, it's a simple mistake. Everyone does it. You got to be careful with that cubed root. Any questions on this? Nope. All right, good job. Last one. This one's going to deal with variables. 25. All right, I have, and y'all pay attention because this is the last one and it's hard. 4 times the square root of 8 times a to the 5th power times c to the 7th power. And then we're multiplying that with the square root of 6a 4c. Morgan, you want to try?
Okay.
So first of all, what's my root?
2.
There you go. Your root is 2. Got to make sure you know that.
You're going to leave the 4 on the outside just as it is, because after you factor everything out, if there's something that goes on that side, you just multiply it by that.
That's right. The 4 or any number that's on the outside, just leave it for now. Just leave that 4 for now. I'm going to circle it so I don't forget. But don't even worry about that 4 right now. She's correct. We're gonna mess with it later on. Okay, Morgan.
And then go ahead and do the factor tree on 8 and just leave the variables out. You just add those after you do the factor tree.
That's right.
And then be 2 times 4. And then 4 is not prime, so be 2 times 2. And then 6 is 2 times 3. Both those numbers are prime. So you just write all of those number variables out in a line. And then add the variables. And circle the pairs. And then put whatever's outside, or left on the inside, and then the pairs on the outside.
So how many total A's do I have?
Total pairs of A's?
No, just total A's.
5. Or sorry, 9.
How many total C's do I have?
8.
So I had 9 A's and 8 C's. Does everyone see where she got that? There's 7 over here and 1 here, so that makes it 8. 5 here and 4 here, so that makes it 9. So that's total in the problem. I've written them out. Hopefully I counted correctly. At some point, some of you may be able to just say, okay, I've got my total here, and you can just divide it out, okay? But until you get there, go ahead and write them out. So how many, what are my pairs? So I just circled groups of?
2.
All right, so I have a group here, a group here, and you start just getting your groups together of letters and numbers. I have a 3 as a leftover and an A as a leftover.
And those are going to go inside.
Those are going to go inside. This 3 is a leftover, boys and girls, and this A is a leftover. So that's just 3A, because 3 times A is 3A. Now, what goes on the outside?
2 times 2 times 4.
Okay, so she's correct. This is when you bring down that 4 to be included with all this stuff on the outside. So I have 2 times 2 times 4.
Times
How many A's?
4.
A to the 4th
And C to the 4th.
and C to the 4th. Do y'all see that?
Mm-hmm. And that gives you 16 A4 C8 times.
Wait, A4, C
Oh,
what?
sorry, C4. I was counting the C's. My bad. C4 times the square root of 3A.
Any questions? Any questions? Everyone understand? All right, I'll set you free. Page 444. Numbers 2 through 30 even. Honors 4 through 30 even. And 38. Mwah. Due Tuesday.
Why so many times?
You can handle it. Y'all need practice. All right.